Good morning, or well, good afternoon. It's 1:15, 15th of June. This is Tuesday, not Monday. Wait a sec, you might be able to hear the fan. Right, I'm back. So, went to do this yesterday, forgot until the evening. Kind of forgot it was a Monday. Just like, because I've been busy, which I'll get into. I'm playing with this. It's just been sitting in Joanna's computer desk, and I like to fidget. So, anyway, what's the first thing we want to talk about? Jobs. We can just skip that bit really, because we finally have a job. I was so excited when I got that call, not last week, but the week before, to work for a top tier firm. Pardon me. It's just gonna dream come true really. So I'm waiting for the start date to be announced and then when that gets released I can sign the contract, which they're saying it should be like October 6th or so. So we just need to wait and see just now. Just wait and wait. But I've accepted that offer formally and cancelled my previous offer. Next, uni. I've not done any uni work in the past week. I tried a little bit and just couldn't bring myself to do it. I'll explain that in a bit. But I was able to contact my university, update them with the situation, and get student services to contact my dissertation supervisor to explain to them the situation and reasoning for not doing any work, because I was supposed to have a meeting with my supervisor or to do work to then find a better research question, more structured literature review, because it turns out I'd done my literature review like completely wrong. Instead of well, not completely wrong, but I noticed afterwards that I was trying to find literature to back up a point in my head that I wanted to research, and so I basically was finding the answer to my own question, and I kept it on bullet points when in reality I should have tried to write it out properly, and then if I could write it out properly it would mean that I'll be able to find the gaps and coherently find the arguments to then find the gaps, you know. So I was supposed to do that, but I was unwell to do so. I'm starting to feel better now, like yesterday and today. So I'm going to give it a little bit of work today, I think, and see how I get on, because I've just been recovering, which I'll go into in a moment. But yeah, sorry, I was supposed to do that work and then have a kind of mid-month meeting, I think, this Friday, or something like that, regarding it. So I was supposed to have done 2 weeks worth of work, but obviously I haven't. So once I'm 100% better, we'll figure that out. So the crypto, I've been thinking about crypto. It's a funny one just now. From watching Tech Leads videos, because most of my information I get regarding crypto is from a few sources, which I kind of get behind their train of thought, and then there's like 10 other sources. So there's like, say, like, I don't know, 15 in total, and there's like 3 or 4 that I really do listen to and see what they're saying, and then there's another like, say, 10, well, between 10 and 12, which I just kind of watch somewhat passively to see if anything comes up. But I noticed that these major sources that I watch kind of come up with things that are unique and normally kind of right. So examples of people are, the 3 off the top of my head, is Alex Becker, Tech Lead, and Cryptozaras. Those 3 seem to have ideas which are kind of novel, or at least they're not widespread, and they seem to be relatively accurate. And so one of the major points that I've seen recently is kind of the whole El Salvador legal tender thing. Sorry, my brain's still a bit foggy, and I'm finding questions to my own opinions as I'm displaying them. But that's kind of the point in this, is to try and organise my thoughts. Because the whole Bitcoin legal tender thing, I don't know if it's really practical. Another thing is the whole hodl thing. Hodl and get life-changing wealth. The wealth is only life-changing when it's realised, and at the point at which it's realised, it is no longer hodled, nor is it able to compound in that same manner, so as Bitcoin. So I've been really questioning that whole strategy which people say, because it does make sense that if you hodl over the long term, but then they say hodl dollar cost average, but also take profit, which to me just seems like conflicting strategies. Also the whole thing of the fundamentals haven't changed, so keep buying in, just seems weird, because that's you then presuming that the top before this crash was a fair price based on fundamentals, which means a whole argument within itself. And then other people saying, "Oh, it's all about what you think. Do you believe in it?" But it doesn't matter what you believe in. It's investment, so you have to believe that other people will believe in it to get it to work. It's literally just hoping someone else will pay more, essentially. Most of it, anyway. So, I don't know. Also, sorry, Tether as well. It seems to be that when Tether prints more, the market kind of value of Bitcoin goes up and the price of Bitcoin goes up. And this also seems to coincide with, say, Elon Musk tweets. So I don't know if Elon Musk is kind of being scapegoated with that, partly, at least in the last kind of jump up yesterday, the day before. And Tether's authenticity is highly questionable as well. And then as well, just Binance recently came out with kind of exit scamming people. And then people saying, yeah, it won't be regulated, but then regulation's a bizarre kind of thing to be pro or against, because if you're pro regulation, it does increase the security, so it reduces the security risks of investing in crypto. But then it could also increase taxable events, you could get chased up for them. So I don't know, the whole thing right now is a bit blur in my head, and as you can tell from the last week, that one, I've not really thought about it too much, just kind of been passively consuming information. This is essentially me thinking it through right now. But also, I'm struggling to find real answers to it. Kind of just symptoms, I suppose. So crypto, I've just been sitting on it. Actually, I bought a little bit more at the very bottom of the dip, which was just luck. I seen that it kept going down. I was hearing things about maybe going back up, and then it just got so far down that I thought, even if it keeps dropping, I'll be happy to buy in here. And then it just went straight back up that night. So lucky with that. Didn't buy much though, so it's not exactly going to be life-changing wealth. But yeah, just another point in that was it's kind of fresh in my mind. Whole life-changing wealth. You can tell right now, I can hardly think coherently, and two, I've not talked to anyone in ages really about this stuff, because I've hardly talked to anyone because I've been kind of dying. Not literally, but feeling it. Was feeling it. But what was I going to say with that? Yeah, the whole creation of wealth thing. It's it seems that the creation of wealth through cryptocurrency really does come from day trading as opposed to anything else. Because it's like every other investment strategy that's dividend paying, which is kind of then you're not making money until it's realised, and at the point in which it's realised, you're then taking money off the table. So I don't know. It sounds really obvious, but it was kind of like a wee epiphany for me in my mind when I realised like little things like this. But at least it's kind of opened my eyes to investing. So I really got to take seriously looking into investing, especially when I start getting my salary in. The one I kind of main idea that I do like the idea of is dividend paying stocks, even though the stock price doesn't appreciate over time relative to inflation, so it essentially depreciates. You make money on it, so it's kind of like cash flow. That is essentially what it is. Cash flow. It's like spending a little bit of money over a long period of time, and because you do that, you can actually spend a fair amount of money over time. So, like for instance, the first one that I seen was QILD. Another one that I was kind of looking into was it ARC, ARCC. Pardon me. So I'm kind of thinking about them, and I like the idea of them. I think it's a lot easier for someone new to invest in, such as, oh my god, how small my arms got. Someone such as myself who's new to invest in stuff which actually does return cash, even if it's like not much, it's still in your mind. You can see the real return, and I think it would be a good way to get into investing really. So yeah, that's quite kind of prominent in my mind right now. What else do I want to talk about? Recreational stuff, nothing. So the other two, I'll write it down so I don't forget. Other two things I will talk about is health, or well, just both health, I suppose. So first thing was last Monday on my video, I told me, found out that I tested positive for COVID officially. So I've tested positive on a lateral flow test, got PCR, tested positive in that. Ended up, after I tested positive, Joanna wanted reassurance, so we went and got, because she tested negative on the Sunday, then positive in the lateral flow on the Monday, so she went, got tested, that came back positive as well. So we've been self-isolating here. We were originally self-isolating in the room only until, I don't know what day was it, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, something like that, by which days we then went out into the hall and stuff and down into the kitchen, but with masks on, sanitised and everything, because it turned out others in the household tested positive. So now we're kind of walking about the house. But yeah, so anyway, tested positive. I'm going to make a video on the symptoms. I've just done like a quick, I tried to do it quick. It was, some days it was like 20 minutes, other days it was like 5. Of my symptoms, started out fever, severe brain fog, kind of dizziness, sore head. So obviously with fever I was sweating, I was roasting. Had a bit of a cough as well. And then after a couple of days that calmed down and left me just feeling like really ill, and obviously my heart rate would go up whenever I'd do anything at all. I was roasting still, like at night time. I sometimes would get dizzy if I stood up. I would get exhausted if I just like made breakfast or something. So I had pretty moderate symptoms, pretty moderate, especially for my age, 23, relatively fit and healthy. My diet's not too bad. I exercise pretty regularly, not too much now, but so like I don't have any other conditions, nothing at all. So it was weird to get these symptoms. Joanna got them as well, so it makes us think it was the Indian variant. I don't know the name of it, but yeah, so had that, and it was pretty bad. I think it's more than anything, you just really worry about it. So you just worry about how you're gonna be. You just don't want to be that 0.01% of stories, especially when you're hearing everywhere that, oh, you're gonna be fine, everyone's gonna be fine. You're 23, young fit guy. You probably don't even know you have it. Trust me, I knew I had it. You'll see the video when it comes out when I just try and discuss the symptoms, but it was a nightmare. Couldn't do anything, and then I don't know. You just kind of get this sense of trappedness as well. I don't know, just not good at all though. Like even when I was trying to talk and think, I would just constantly sweat. I'm actually fine now, like right now, talking, not sweating or anything, and even with the fan off. I still sweat like a bunch when I come out of the shower for like half an hour. I'll just keep like pouring out of me. But even try to write an email and stuff, I couldn't do coherent sentences. Whatever, this is like the best I've been easy. But then yesterday I woke up on the Monday, so yesterday, buzzing again. So like this kind of thing, not buzzing, but like relieved probably is the best thing. For the symptoms to have gone away, because the day before I thought this is me, I'm better, and then I got up to go for a pee and I was just like, oh my god, dizzy. But yes, the symptoms were pretty moderate, I must admit. My parents were a bit worried, although I knew I was going to be fine. But yeah, so sorry, during the week, I ended up paramedics come out because of Joanna were breathing. She was just getting a bit worried about that, and I was basically saying that I wasn't gonna I mean this in the nicest way possible. Don't really know the other way to explain it, but I wasn't gonna humour those symptoms. That she had to phone 111, because they're not the kind of symptoms you go, oh, so you're gonna be alright. That's a shame. You're like, get it seen to and make sure you're fine. And then also I had the pain in my chest, and I ended up a nightmare. I had to call 10 different people just to try and get a prescription down here. They refused to take me as a temporary patient. I then phoned my GP and they said they can't do that. And then they would they were going to give me antibiotics or something. But anyway, I ended up not getting it, but it did take me 10 calls just to get to a point in which I thought my next call I could phone my GP and get it. I'll probably put that up as its own video about how it's an absolute nightmare, how I was sitting here feeling like absolute death, so exhausted, and I still had to phone 111, get a phone call back from 111, phone my GP, get a phone call back, phone my GP, then I had to phone them again because the first time they didn't accept they weren't going to talk to me or something. I can't even remember now. I tried to get my mum to phone a few of these because I was just couldn't handle it in my head, man. Phone my GP again, then they phoned me back, so that's 5 now. Then had to phone pharmacies. One refused, one said their machine was down, one said they could do it. Between this time, I had to keep phoning my GP because they were saying that they needed an email to send the thing over, like the prescription over, and every place I phoned was like, no, it's not an email, it's a code, or it's this, it's that. So one refusal, one said it was a code they needed, like a barcode, and the other one said it was what do you call it? They just needed like a 5-digit code, which they gave me to give to them. So that was a nightmare. Try to deal with all that, and then after the paramedic looked me over, he essentially suggested that I just keep watching my chest, but that antibiotics is probably not necessary, which is good. But yeah, I'll do a whole video on the symptoms. Essentially just a collage of all the videos, day 1 through to now, which would be day 10. Joanna's text me. Just to let people know that, 23, young, fit, healthy, you can still have pretty debilitating symptoms, man. Like, I'm normally really driven with working out, my own little businesses, stuff like that, and I've just had zero motivation because everything's been so hard to think. I hardly could make food. It was a nightmare. Let's just say if I was living alone, I would have mega struggled. And even on top of that, I've had like major waves of heavy anxiety about life and stuff in it, and I've even been upset a few times. And these are things that I don't normally get, so it's a bit weird. So anyway, that was COVID. So I had to literally lay in bed pretty much all week. Didn't even go out the back garden for the first 3 or 4 days. So I've literally done nothing. Just watched Parks and Recreations, and that's it. That's helped me get through it. It's like my new office. Like my new that office to watch. Just nice and chill. So yeah, I'll have like 2 minutes left in this video. So I'll go delete something. I'll be back. So I'm back. I've got 7 minutes. Probably won't need them all. So the next thing I want to talk about is food. So in what would it have been, 2017 maybe? I went vegan for, I don't know, I was kind of vegan off and on, but I was vegetarian for between 6 and 8, no, yeah, probably 6 or 7 months, definitely 6, because I remember I was vegetarian definitely from, say, I don't know, June till December, something like that. The whole kind of motive behind that was, I think it was like What the Health or something. I don't know, something like that. Right, so Joanna's telling me to hurry because she's made lunch, so I'll be quick. So I have a kind of affiliation anyway with, or I don't know, a soft spot I suppose, for veganism and anti-animal cruelty and stuff like that. So for years it's kind of like came and gone, where I'll think about it a lot and then I won't think about it, and it's all about like, I don't have anything against killing animals per se, so like hunting and stuff, like for food, but I've always kind of been against, like, at least in my kind of adult years, factory farming, obviously, even fishing for sport I've had a kind of thing in my mind with. So anyway, 3 nights ago we watched Seaspiracy Me 2, finally, and in that it just kind of reopened my eyes to the factory farming thing and how hard it is to avoid it. And then last night we watched Seaspiracy, recommended by my dad, so this is your fault now if I do go vegan. So because of that as well, that whole thing has just really opened my eyes to that again. So I spent hours last night researching stuff whilst Joanna was sleeping because of the way I am, and essentially now I just want to know where all my food comes from. So I don't know if I'll go vegan, don't know if I'll go vegetarian. I probably will, but it's more so that I just want to be comfortable with the source of my food. So I do intend to not eat any seafood, not eat any fast food, and not purchase egg, dairy or meat from somewhere if I'm not confident in how ethically they're raised. So for instance, like we have from where I live, not right now where I am, but where my parents live, there's plenty of people who own chickens. These little chickens run about, lay eggs, literally run about. I've went and seen them just round the corner from me. So they're chicken eggs which I'd be comfortable eating. As for meat, it would be like ones where they're kind of, their life on a farm is on a real type of farm, like just a real Scottish farm. I'm comfortable with that as well. So I'm not gonna go vegan, I don't think. It's not my intention. My intention is just to ethically eat. So to make sure that I know the source of where I eat and I'm comfortable with it. And this is something I've kind of had for ages. I remember for ages before wanting to get in touch with local butchers and stuff. It was weird at the time. I was just so anxious. I ended up not doing it, so instead I just stayed vegetarian. But yeah, if I do become vegetarian, no, if I do become vegan, it's more by necessity of I don't know where it's came from and I'm uncomfortable eating something that's probably a battery hen, or whatever, something like that. So, and I don't eat much red meat as it is, so for that I would probably just have steaks here and there. And I know it's going to be pricey probably if you do try and get meat like that, but I mean, you need to stick by your morals, by your ethics, you know. So it's kind of where my head's at with that. I would have went into it longer, but I'm feeling, this is what I'm kind of meaning before, I'm feeling mega anxious that I need to go now. Hopefully the anxiety and the kind of brain fog goes away, because all my other symptoms are 100 times better. So yeah, let's get this week, hopefully this time next week I will be back to normal. Oh yeah, also I can't smell or taste a thing, which is quite funny because this is kind of like my whole thing as well with the best time to start going vegan and that again, is that I'm not going to miss tastes in such a manner as I normally would because I can't taste anything anyway. So like, even yesterday I had chicken fajitas for lunch. Didn't like them one bit, even though I normally love them. I had wee mini chicken Kievs. Didn't like them either, just because there's no taste, it's all just texture. So zero smell, zero taste. Pain in the bum. So we'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, I need to go get my lunch. Talk to you later. Have a great week. Bye.